Hi there, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see just what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrology for November 2021. And just a quick reminder for you, you also have a monthly tarot card forecast already up. It's on my main channel page under a playlist of its very own. Just click on my avatar below and it'll take you right there, and all my playlists are nice and organized for you. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, you can go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. So, as I've been saying to everybody, November is the last of the theme months when it comes to planetary moves that we're going to be dealing with for, some time. Ever since the end of August, beginning of September, the planets have kind of clumped together as far as the inner planets go, Mars, Mercury, Venus. And so they've kind of all occupied very close spaces, very close quarters as they move from house to house, sign to sign. We're dealing with this one more time, and then after November, we're going to see a lot more diversity as far as what activities they are stimulating in each of our charts. But you will notice a theme, a very strong theme, not the only theme this month, but a strong theme at play. And a lot of this activity is occurring in your ninth house of expansion, reach, your spiritual practice, government legal proceedings, travel, as well as your own education and your ability to connect to the wider world, opening up the world for you. We've got Mars here as of the end of October. Mars will be in this part of your chart through the duration of November. We have the Sun in this area, Scorpio, from the 1st through the 20th. We have Mercury here from the 5th through the 24th, and we have a new moon here as well. It's not the only thing we're going to be talking about, but as you can see, we're going to be bringing it up a lot. With Mars, the planet of action, passion, obstacle clearing, that driving force in the ninth house, you're going to be finding that this is a very powerful month for getting you out of situations where you have been bound to a particular location, a particular corner of your field or your profession, your education, or challenging and overcoming a lot of obstacles that have maybe limited your movement, limited your mobility. In fact, with Mars in the ninth house, you may be noticing a lot of champions also showing up to support you in these endeavors, especially if you have been looking for a way of, getting yourself oriented towards a higher personal goal or a different area of your field, a different area of your passion, your work, or anything that you would like to transition from that you feel has become old news or is no longer relevant to who you are. This is also a great time to make some appeals if you need to undo any kind of decisions rendered or any kind of calls or commitments that were made in the past that have maybe left you locked in to arrangements or locked into agreements or even titles that have been keeping you going in circles. And so you're breaking down all walls when it comes to this month. With the Sun here bringing attention, enhancement, and elevation, you're going to find, yes, your reach, your connections are also expanding. We talk about reach. This is your ability to broadcast yourself, to become better known, either for something that you do, a service that you provide, or a role you wish to play in your world. This can be a great time for those of you looking to actually advertise or campaign for something you truly believe in, something that you are passionate about, or if you are working to drum up business, draw awareness to maybe your own business, your own projects, or a pursuit that you are already involved in, you're going to be getting that interest. You're going to be stimulating that awareness in a very big way. And we are also going to find with the Sun here that you're getting a spotlight on a corner of your life, of your field, right? The area of life that you work in, or where your vocation is, or where you wish your vocation would be, that you are going to get a chance to plant your flag. This is also a time where a lot of you Piscean people may be finding that the sensibility around either your vocation or your career is evolving. It's transforming away from a lot of trends, a lot of fads, a lot of patterns of recent history into one that is much more complementary to you, drawing a lot more interest in you. With Mercury here, we are speeding up developments and maturation processes of a lot of projects that you may be working on. This can also go for any kind of evaluation processes, tests, meetings, or matters of licensure or certificates that you have to deal with in order to maybe transcend a certain area of your life or an area of your work if you're trying to get the authorization or the clearance for a go-ahead of some kind, or to close up old business as well. And with Mercury, there is going to be a lot put on the table with regards to travel and opening up your world. So a lot of you Piscean people may be finding that, this month you are getting a chance to finally orient yourself or your work or your family in the direction of a destination you have been trying to land yourself in. Whether this is a big move relocation or maybe even something you're just doing for travel, for pleasure, or for business, it's all going to come together. This new moon in Scorpio is also very, very powerful because a new moon in the ninth house is an activator moon, and it can get very esoteric, but that's my absolute favorite. With a new moon in your ninth house, you may be noticing that new spiritual skills, new spiritual inklings, new applicable metaphysical arts are going to be activating for you. And this could be kind of spooky. This could be a very strange, quickening experience a lot of you are going through. But I always encourage you to lean in. With a new moon here, you also are going to find that it's possible for you to get acquainted with an area of yourself spiritually, whether it's in the subconscious or it's in a spiritual path or practice, that is going to shift a lot of the way you actually view your role in the world. But with this new moon, this new path, this new quickening, you're also going to find that it is enhancing a lot of your quality of life. And if you are already involved in a spiritual path or practice with applied metaphysics involved, you're all the more capable, you're all the more impactful, you're all the more potent with your skills and abilities. This is also a time where you may actually find you are becoming more well-known or getting a chance to have your name get propagated because something that you are putting out there, whether this is spiritual or it's professional, a mixture of both, or maybe something else that you're working on as a bit of an artistic project or a cultural project, you are getting a lot of attention, a lot of awareness. We already saw that. That's going to set you up to assume a new status in your community. We also have Venus in Capricorn from the 5th of the month through the rest of the month and into December. This is your 11th house of friendships, social networking, your support system, and your ideals. With Venus in the 11th house, we often see a lot more affection, generosity, and involvement coming through our friends. Now, this could be pulling us closer, maybe even joining forces with people to tackle big ambitions and big ideals. But with Venus, this is also going to be attracting a lot of new friends to you, setting you up with a whole new social circle that is ultimately going to be transforming a lot of the ways you handle both practical and personal aspects of your life. Venus is also a time where those of you Piscean people curious about love may find that love comes to you through a friend or through your social circle or a group you are involved in. So this could be somebody actually bridging the gap, somebody possibly playing matchmaker, or it could even be that maybe a friend you already have had an interest in has a chance to become more than just a friend. For those of you who are currently coupled, Venus is still the planet of love, favor, and affection, and it does look like you will also be drawing in a stronger support system for the couple. The relationship itself is becoming a lot more adventurous, a lot more wild, a lot more experimental, and Venus likes to bring that spice of life and a bit of luxury, a bit of opulence with it. And so you may be finding that your relationship could be feeling a bit decadent at times, but it's something that maybe is an itch you've all been waiting to scratch, and you're going to get a chance to do that throughout the course of this month, especially in the second half. Speaking of the second half of the month, from the 21st on, we've got the Sun in Sagittarius, your 10th house of career, upward mobility, as well as promotions, wealth, and anything to do with your status and station. And the Sun will be closely followed by Mercury moving into this area on the 24th. You are going to be finding that you are getting set up for a very wealthy second half of the month, as well as duration of 2021. The Sun in your 10th house is allowing you to get more value from your work, from what you're putting out there, what you're giving to clients and customers, and what you're presenting to bosses and authority figures. In fact, this is a time where you are not only getting more value from and for it, but you are also getting a lot more compensation, bigger rewards, and with Mercury here as well, speeding up your progress towards a new status, a jump in status, whether this is a promotion or if you work for yourself, a new base when it comes to your predictable take-home earnings, and giving you a chance to make a bigger mark in your corner of your career or your field. Finally, we have a lunar eclipse full moon in Taurus on November 21st. We are going to be feeling this for much longer than just a typical 2-week full moon period, however. Because it's a lunar eclipse, we're going to be feeling this into February of 2022, because a lunar eclipse is strongest in its first 90 days. This is occurring in your 3rd house of peer groups, your communications, contracts, as well as your own skills. And when we have a full moon lunar eclipse in the 3rd house, there is an opportunity to break away from contracts that we have been caught up in, from affiliations that have been maybe holding us back or holding us in a bygone era of our lives. This is a great time for those of you that are looking to make a huge clean break. We're not just tying up the loose ends, we are burning them away. So for those of you that have been maybe trying to find a way to get out of a certain professional plan, a certain educational path, maybe get out of a lease, break some kind of contract that you know you have to get rid of as a requisite to having the job, living situation, or relationship that you want, this is going to be the time. In fact, this 90-day period could even have a lot of you Piscean people making some huge moves that could ultimately make a huge turn, a huge corner turn for you when it comes to exactly what you are doing with your own home, family, living situation, your job, because we're no longer living in response to a lot of commitments and contracts of the past. So that is what I have got for you all. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Y'all know I appreciate it. And should you ever want to get a session with me, go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.